हम लोग अपनी सीट पे शांति से बैठ गए
Very good morning, sir. Sandeep, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Sir, may I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you also, sir.
Thank you.
My dear students, now Sandeep sir, Sandeep Joshi sir is connected with us. And one thing that is very important, I'm just going to introduce Sandeep Joshi sir. A very brief introduction to all of you. So listen carefully, everyone. Sandeep Joshi sir is an experienced professional with over 25 years of diverse industry experience across technology, technical communication, corporate social responsibility, talent development, and academia industry collaboration. He currently serves as Region Head, Academic Alliance Group at Tata Consultancy Services. Here, where he focuses on building a sustainable talent ecosystem by connecting academia, industry, business units, and students through strategic partnership, capability building, initiatives, and talent development programs. During his long tenure at TCS, Sandeep sir has held multiple responsibilities, including delivery impact leader, corporate social responsibility, senior manager, technical communications, and lead CET TechCom. His work has included managing TCS flagship CSR initiatives such as literacy as a service and the youth employment program in UP and Uttarakhand. He also brings experience in technical communication, corporate training, business, and soft skill development. ServiceNow projects system validation and client engagement, having worked across domains such as life sciences, manufacturing, HR, IT, and pharmaceuticals, and many more. So, my dear students, give a big hand for the Sandeep Joshi sir. Yes, sir. Now we are ready to receive your presentation, sir.
Thank you, Mudit sir, and thank you for this lovely welcome. And a very good afternoon to all the students. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Audible,
okay.
Sir.
So today's conference is on sustainability and new technologies, right? So let me start by asking you a question. How many of you have used ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, or any other generative AI tool in the last 24 hours? Can I have a show of hands?
Yeah, raise your hands, students. There are so many students, sir.
Right. So see, everybody is using AI nowadays, right? So we are witnessing the fastest technological transformation in human history, right?
Yes, sir.
Fastest, just mark my words. This is the fastest technological transformation in human history. The mobile revolution, which we are very fond of, it took like 15 years to reach a billion people across the world. 15 years from when mobiles, the screen held mobiles, big screen. Earlier, I mean, you are all uh, around 23 years old, you would be, right? So when the first touch screen phone in which you could watch media came, I think it was way back in 2008 or 9, right? That is when the first big screen phones started getting launched. So that has taken around 15 years to be adopted universally, right? So that was the last mobile revolution that took place. And AI, how much has that taken to totally transform the world that we live in today? Just after COVID ended in 2022, we are seeing that AI has spread across all sectors, all areas where humans work, right? So when we talk about industrial revolutions, the first industrial revolution was when the steam engine was invented, right? So it revolutionized the way that industry used to work. Earlier, animal labor or manual labor was used to run machines, right? With the coming of steam engine, we started building factories, where work could be done in a very fast way. Similarly, the second revolution, the industrial revolution that took place, it was on the basis of electricity, and it was on the basis of oil, right? Petroleum. So that was the second industrial revolution. After that, during the 80s and 90s, we saw the third industrial revolution, which was based on IT and IT services, computer applications, right? So that was the third industrial revolution. And now we are seeing the AI revolution, AI and machine learning revolution. So what has changed? Every industrial revolution through the ages, if you look at, through the ages, there's a, Sapiens, there's a book by Noah Harari. It's called Sapiens. So it traces the history of humans. So and in that book you will get very good references as to how the industrial revolutions have changed the human way of working, the human's way of life. So every industrial revolution has changed how we work, how we communicate, how we learn, right? Just look at when the mobile revolution came in. Before that, when you had to talk to your parents, you would either have to go to a PCO. I mean, many of you wouldn't even know what a PCO is. The senior ones among us would understand what a PCO is. Our homes didn't have a phone. The homes that had a phone were rich homes, right? Because getting a phone connection took around more than 1 or 2 years in some cases, right? But now you just go to a shop, buy a SIM, buy a mobile phone, and you are connected, right? In our days, we couldn't even think, when we were students, we couldn't even think that I will be having a phone. So whatever communication we used to do was face to face communication. We used to talk to our friends, right, when we met them. Or if we wanted to talk to some friend who was not in front of us, we used to write physical letters. We used to write letters on a paper and using a pen, right? So that was the mean of communication. How we worked, we didn't have computers. When I started working in a newspaper uh, in Chandigarh, right, at that time we didn't have computers. We used to write reports by hand. We used to give it to a person who would type those reports, and then they would print the paper, right? And the paper printing was also, it used to be typeset by hand. Individual letters were selected by hand and put on a slab of iron, and then it was printed through a printing machine. But nowadays what you do, you just create a postscript file on your computer, send it to the printers. So that is the revolution that has taken place, right? How we learn. How many of you are using books nowadays? I think hardly 5 or 10% of students are nowadays using books. So that has also changed with the mobile revolution, and now with the AI revolution, we are not even visiting the sites. I think hardly anybody uses Google now, right? You will just go to Google Gemini. You are using Google indirectly. You are using their database. But are you Googling things now? No. You will just go to Gemini and say, Gemini, find me this. Tell me the information about this thing. So whereas Google, during the mobile revolution, when Google used to give you the 10 top websites and then you could scroll on the other websites, even that effort is now solved because of the AI. Right? You don't have to scroll any websites to look for information. The information is presented to you based on the prompt that you have given to the application. So all these things have changed, right? And one quote that I would like to say here is that the future belongs to those who can combine intelligence with sustainability and innovation with responsibility, right? So this is something that you should keep in mind, that using technology is fine, but use of technology comes with a very big cost, right? There's a human cost involved, there's an environmental cost involved, right? So let me share with you a presentation that I have created for you guys. Just give me 1 minute. I will open it up and share it with you. Let me know when you can see my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, this is your keynote, like, which you are having. It's AI sustainability and next generation of innovators. So I have just created some uh, thinking points for you guys. So now, as humanity, as our times stand today, we are at a three-way inflection point where we have human intelligence, we have artificial intelligence. We must. We are living in a world which is deteriorating day by day. Our environmental concerns are there. The pollution is rising. We are facing, uh, crisis of petroleum, crisis of clean air, crisis of clean water, and in humanity also, we are losing trust in humanity. We're losing trust in each other. Again, the world is poised at a tipping point where there are wars taking place between countries, between regions, within inside countries also there are chasms that are forming, and which is not good for the peace, right? So the opportunity is not to optimize just one dimension, right? So earlier we used to tackle problems in silos. Okay, this is a problem, go there and tackle it. But now we cannot optimize in one dimension. Anything we create now, any software you're going to create now, any machine that you're going to create now has to be designed for intelligence, for sustainability, and for the good of humanity. Right. So that is the main question that you, as the future developers, as future goal setters, as future leaders who will lead the country and lead the world in a sustainable direction, have to take. Right. So this is something that you need to keep in mind, that going forward you will not just design a car. You will not design a car which runs very good, which is very fast, right? Which gives you a thrill in driving. You will also have to think whether is it safe for the people who are driving it, whether is it safe for the people who will be on the road, will it impact the environment in a bad way or not, right? So all these aspects need to be thought about now. Earlier, when you used to see big cars with 3000 cc engines, they were guzzling gas, they were giving 2 kilometers per liter of petrol. But now, can you think anybody buying that car or anybody developing such a car? No, right? Because these are polluting things. Any activity, if you set up a power plant, if you set up a thermal power plant, right? You have to calculate the risk that it poses to the environment, to the humanity as a whole. Nowadays, we're talking about AI, right? AI is everywhere. Everybody is making, use of AI. But are you thinking how much AI is damaging the environment? How, the data centers where AI derives its power from? The big data centers, how much heat they produce, how much of environmental damage is it causing to cool down those data centers, right? So these are things that need to be taken into account. So when you are going out in the world after your graduation, when you go and join the workforce, when you go and join the decision makers in the country, when you say after 10, 15 years you reach a point where you are the decision makers, you will have to think on those lines. Design anything that you are doing to cater to all three concerns that humanity is now facing. Okay, so let's move ahead. Now, intelligence is now becoming in a engineering layer, right? So from isolated algorithms to connected systems that sense, reason, act, and improve. So earlier, when you used to create a system, its function was written inside, right? You give one input, you will get the desired output, right? But now the systems have become intelligent. They learn from their surroundings. They learn as to what you have made them do for the past 1 years or 2 years. And their response to you will be targeted, will be tailored to your likes and dislikes, right? So systems nowadays sense, through Internet of Things, visions, signals, right? So what used to happen? Let's take the example of a car. My father used to have a Mahindra Jeep back in the day, right? It was given to him by his office, and on the driver's side there was a stick which was a gear, there was a steering wheel, right? And in front of that there were two dials. One was speed, one was battery, and one was oil pressure. That's it. Okay. So if your battery was weak, that arrow, that needle on the dial would show you what the battery charge was. And similarly, the oil pressure gauge. That those three gauges were present only, right? Everything else was mechanical. But nowadays, when you look at a car, you don't have those gauges everywhere. How much air is going into system, how much fuel is going to in the system, where the gearbox is connecting or not. Everything is electronic, and all that information is available to you on the dashboard of the car, right? If anything goes wrong, earlier we used to take it to the mechanic. Now if you have a code reading tool, you can just plug it in the car and it'll tell you where the fault is, right? Similarly, earlier we used to have televisions and ACs and other appliances which didn't have a remote. You had to personally go there to change the channel. If you wanted to switch on an AC, you had to go there and dial a knob and start using it. Nowadays, you have connected ACs, you have connected cars, which you can, control from your mobile phone, right? So and the sensors are also there. Earlier this used to be just a thermostat reading the temperature at one point. Now there are thermostats, scattered all over your house, which can, sense your room temperature and set your AC to the perfect temperature level, right? Machines are now understanding. AI models, machine learning, AI models developed after machine learning, they are able to understand your needs. If you have been using chat gpt for a long time, and if you have taken a proper subscription of chat gpt, once you ask a question, like for example, if I am using copilot now, and if I ask some question to it, it will answer to me as if like it knows my role now. So it will ask me, do you want to reply to this mail as the region head for AAG, right? So when this request for your conference came to me, right, I was replying. So the AI prompt on my Outlook, which is already integrated, it asks me, do you want me to reply, right? So it is understanding what we need. It is sometimes even deciding what we need, right? So we come to the decision part also. Now computers, the AI, the artificial intelligence systems are sometimes deciding all things for us also. They are predicting. Predictive analysis has come a long way, because the AI can read a huge amount of data in such a short time, right? If you had all that data in spreadsheets, which would fill a room, you would take a year to, come to a decision after, reviewing all the data manually. But AI can do that snap of fingers, right? So it is being extensively used for prediction, for optimization, right? It can also make, action possible. Intelligent systems, intelligent machines are now acting themselves. The robotics, you can see the robots, how efficiently the robots are functioning now, right? Complex industrial workflows have been made easy by the use of artificial intelligence, right? And it's learning also, continuously learning, and it is giving you adaptive feedback also, right? So it's from a reactive to a predictive system and to an autonomous system. Now we have become a collaborative system where we are collaborating with the AI, with the with these generative AI systems. We are now collaborating them to work, right? Earlier computer systems were reactive. You give an input, it will give you an output. So when data grew, when the processing power increased, it became predictive. In the third revolution, it became autonomous, right? So many of the programs, which people used to run through, human intervention, like testing of software and other things, these repetitive tasks, they became autonomous. But now they have become collaborative, right? So this is the evolution of intelligent systems that has taken place. Because of this evolution, sometimes it becomes very important that we need to also include sustainability in our design. Any software that we now design, any product that we now design should be sustainable, right? This is not a final compliance check. It's a starting condition, right? So earlier what used to happen, you make an engine and then you see, okay, you make a fan or you make any television or any appliance or any machine. You make the machine, and after the machine is made, then you check, okay, let's see what the fuel consumption is, what is the electricity consumption of this machine, right? How much electricity will it consume? So that was an afterthought, and then we used to tweak the machine to improve the numbers, right? Now any software, any product that is being made now, sustainability, efficiency has become the starting point. We start nowadays from a point that, okay, we need to cut down on greenhouse gas emissions, carbon dioxide emissions, right? So that is why you see a lot of companies, car companies now coming up with cleaner cars, greener cars, EV revolution. Why have all these revolutions taken place? Because we have to save the environment, right? So these consideration, energy, how much power does it consume? It's very important because in order to generate power, we are harming the environment, right? Materials, everything is non-renewable. The ores that we have, the minerals that we have, the resources that we have, the water that we have. If you are setting up a cement plant, you will need a lot of water. You will dig up a lot of earth, right? So can these resources be reduced or reused? That is the main thinking nowadays whenever a big, industry is being made. Then what happens? You have to think about the life cycles also. So these are some considerations that you should now start inculcating in everything that you're doing, even for your class project, right? For your third year or fourth year project, include sustainability in your project, the code that you're using, right? So nowadays the systems are being designed with minimum coding lines. Why? Because more the number of coding lines, the more the processor will use its power. The more the processor uses the electricity to process, the more the consumption will be, and then there will be a cost to environment, right? Companies are buying carbon credits these days. Okay, companies are planting forests to reduce their carbon footprint. So be aware of all these things. The more aware you are when you go out into the industry, when if you inculcate these values within yourself, you will certainly become good developers, and you can use the existing technologies, the AI, the machine learning technologies to create better software, better machines as engineers, right? You must think of the equity. Who is going to use my machine? Who will not be able to use my machine? Should we also include these people who are being left out in the benefits, right? So great engineering creates more value with less footprint. So that is the way forward. Whatever you are doing, whatever software you're developing, whatever products you're developing, make sure that it is usable to all with a reduced footprint, carbon footprint. Currently, AI is non-sustainable, right? If you ask me, we are not in a situation where AI is sustainable because the AI data centers are consuming a huge amount of energy. They are releasing a huge amount of heat, right? To cool down those systems, to cool down the AI data center servers, companies are spending a lot of energy, right? To maintain the cooling towers, the cooling fans, the cooling systems. So currently, the work that is being done is to make AI sustainable, right? So work on those things, generate ideas around that. So like I said, we are at a convergence point now, right? So the solutions that will be created going forward have to create impact, right? Among the actual real human need, right? So here, these things should be used to create impact. First of all, you should look at the human impact. How is it going to impact the human beings? The use of AI. The use of AI should be ethical, right? It should be used for good. It should be used for the environment. Technology is the multiplier. Purpose is the direction, and trust is permission, right? Just keep in mind. Now, four arenas where convergence matters these days. Smart agriculture is one place where you can, really make a difference as students of IT and as students of computer science. Smart agriculture, precision inputs, crop insights, water stewardship. So these are some places where you can work on. Healthcare, right? Now we have such good predictive systems. You know, uh, I heard somewhere that due to the advancement of AI and vision technologies, the job of radiologists, the people who look at your X-rays, your ultrasounds, your CAT scans, right? The job of those doctors will completely become redundant because AI is so good at finding out diseases, predicting diseases. So develop solutions around early support in healthcare. Like, many of you, develop these projects where you use images to, detect cancer or detect any diseases. So that is coming up in a very, very big way, right? It will improve healthcare like never before. So these are the areas which will really benefit the humanity and the human community. So these are some areas where you can, use your talent in IT, in computer science engineering, and use intelligence, artificial intelligence to make a difference, right? Manufacturing is going to be, deeply, affected by this. I hope you have heard about digital twins, right? So it's a process like, if you have a steel mill, which is a manufacturing plant, right? Chemical industry. So what they are doing now is they are creating digital twins. The entire process that takes place in a actual factory is designed on a digital machine. So we can see using AI and using the digital twin technology, we can see where the process is lacking, where we can improve the process, how we can reduce the reliance on energy, how we can reduce the energy consumption, right? We can create, predict the quality of the goods that are coming out. We can predict which part of the machine will be, ready for service so that the industry does not stop down because of some malfunction in some part with the help of digital twins. So this is another area where, you can start researching, you can start working on. And when you come out of your college, then that is one of the areas where you can really make a career. Then we come to smart communities, right? Those of you who are into electronics and electrical engineering, so they can work on areas of mobility, energy, and resilient infrastructure. Everything that is being designed, like, if you're a civil engineer, use AI to develop, smart buildings, energy saving buildings, right? Environmentally, sustainable buildings. How will the waste disposal be? How will you treat the sewage? What will you do with it, right? So each and every aspect of a building, of a machine has to be understood from the three or four convergence points that we have discussed about. Now let's talk about future, right? 10 years, 11 years down the line, right? So the question is not which technology will win, it is how they will impact our lives. So by 2020 35, it will be shaped by the technology convergence. Generative AI, right now we are looking at the fifth iteration of generative AI, right? It's 5.0 already. So it will improve creativity and it will, use knowledge to reduce the work that we are doing. So that is fine. Then biotech is a very big field, that directly concerns human beings, creating medicines to deliver the drugs to the exact point where the disease is taking place. No advancements, research is going on using RNA, using DNA, changing DNA, using AI models. So we are finding out the root cause of diseases and trying to intervene where you know traditional medicine cannot go, right? So data driven life sciences, that is a very important point. Robotics, embodied intelligence, you know intelligent robots will be increasingly used by 2035 to work in places where humans which is very dangerous for human environment, right? So for example, if there's a hazardous chemical spill, earlier humans used to wear hazmat suits and go there, but still there was a risk of contamination. Now intelligent robots can go there and work in these areas, right? Extended reality, immersive learning and work, like you must have heard about uh, immersive learning, like VR, virtual reality, right? So you don't have to be in Taj Mahal to experience Taj Mahal, right? So the technology has become, the immersive technology has become so advanced that wearing a immersive, like VR set, you can actually find yourself walking in the Taj Mahal compound, right? Then we come to digital twins, like I said, simulation before execution. Before you turn on the switch to start the assembly line for a car, you can check all the points that can have trouble or what is happening in those different areas of problems on a computer simulation, right? And then the next is quantum computing, which is coming up in a big way. So the next revolution after the AI revolution is becomes old, the next revolution that is coming is quantum computing, which will totally transform what we have witnessed so far. The speed of computing, the amount of the data that is present, the quantum computing will completely transform it. So the industry now needs a new skill equation. Technical depth is essential and human judgment makes it valuable. So for you as students, right, what you need to do now is first of all build solutions using AI, utilizing data and cloud. Ensure that the applications that you are building are secure, right? Security is very important. Cyber security, for that matter, has become more important after the AI revolution, right? Because when you are using AI to create good solutions, the malicious persons, the people who are always looking to break the system, right? The criminals, they are also using AI to create new and new cyber threats, right? So with the explosion of AI, with the transformation of the industry and the way of working using AI, the cyber threats are also increasing day by day, right? So that is something that you should all work on, trying to build safer systems, right? Safety starts at the coding level. You do not build any code which is which has any vulnerability. So that is something that you should be thinking about, right? Now think. AI will do the thinking for you. That is fine. AI can process data for you. AI can, suggest a lot of, things to you. But as humans, if you have AI, please do not stop thinking, right? Because once you stop thinking, then you will become addicted to somebody else doing your work for you. No, when you use AI, you are freeing some of your time, right? You are freeing some time that you were earlier spending on routine calculations, right? So now if you have that time, do not waste that time, right? Use it to increase your intelligence, right? The next transformation has to come not from AI, it has to come from a human mind only, right? So thinking is very important. You should develop your problem solving skills. So if AI is doing your work for you, use your analytical capabilities, use your human intelligence to find out newer problems, new problem areas. Think on solving the current problems, think on improving the current systems, and then use AI to solve those problems. Original thinking should never die, right? You may use AI, but don't rely on AI for thinking purpose. So this is something that you need to always keep doing, never stop doing. If AI is building software, let it build, but you also have to build something to remain relevant. Connection is very important, right? Like, I gave an example of how we used to communicate when we were children, right? We used to, first of all, phones were non-existent, so every evening or every afternoon we would meet us friends at school, we would talk. But now I am seeing is that, even if two friends are sitting next to each other, they will be chatting on the Instagram. So the mode of communication has changed. The human connections are now not there. You may be able to say anything to a person on a Instagram or a, chat, but when that person comes in front of you, you are not able to connect with them. So that is a disconnection among humans that is taking place, which is not good, right? So work on connections, work on collaboration, work on your empathy of understanding the problems which are present. Empathy is basically, understanding that some persons or some, technology or some process has a problem. So once you address that problem, once you identify the problem, so this is the human side of humanity, of being a human being, that you should never let go of. This AI revolution, this revolution in telecommunication, that has led to alienation of human beings. People are not talking to their parents. People are not talking to their brothers and sisters like we used to do. And that is something which is not good for the coming society. So something that you should be always doing. Be ready to lead, right? So what does leadership means? If you are overly reliant on AI, you will not be able to take any decisions, right? So use your human values to take decisions at important points, right? A point in example in point would be the medical area, right? So an AI can, pinpoint a disease. It can tell you that, who has a tumor, who has cancer, who has, tuberculosis, but it will not take the decision of, undertaking a operation. It may suggest you, okay, this is the problem with the person. What is the treatment? That decision will have to be based on ethics, on human compassion. The doctor has to decide. The human in the loop should always be there, right? And you lead with sustainability. Just because you have created something, you should not be pulling that product into the market unless it is sustainable, right? As far as learning is concerned, you should be agile. If you have learned something and it's not relevant, do not stick to it. Switch over to some new technology, switch over to something new, which will keep your mental faculties operating at their optimum level, right? You should now think about a T, right? A T is a horizontal line and a vertical line. It has both breadth and depth, right? So you should have a T-shaped capability. You should have a deep expertise on some topic, right? Depth of expertise. You should become a domain expert in some area going forward. Right now, you are coming out of college. You say that, what is specialization? Somebody is doing normal CSE, somebody is doing CSE in data science. So these are your depth. Dig deep. The deeper the hole, the more the knowledge that you have, the sweeter will be the water, right? So if you start digging a hole, you will hit water, right? I'm giving you an analogy of a well. So once you start digging for water, you will reach a point where there will be water. Now that first water that you get might be salty or it might be polluted. So what do? You do not stop there. You dig deeper. You may not find water which is drinkable. But when you start going deeper and deeper, ultimately you will find the sweetest water, which is available throughout the year, right? So that is the depth, deep expertise. Then use that deep expertise to broaden your collaboration, because that water is required by other people also, right? So if you are good in data science, your expertise will also be required by the people who are specializing in AI, who are specializing in ML, who are into electronics and communication engineering, right? So then broaden your collaboration base, and that will help you to take responsible decisions, right? So it's simple, right? We need a new skill equation. Now, then how do you transform yourself, right? Now, institutions can become living laboratories for intelligent and sustainable innovation. From simple syllabus, you should go towards interdisciplinary outcomes. So what does that mean, interdisciplinary outcomes? Going forward, like, if you look in, if you listen to, different academicians who are the leaders in forefront, so what people are saying is that the traditional college system is going to go away by 2035, right? There will be no fixed courses. It will be interdisciplinary. Okay, so that is the way forward. Right now you have lectures. Going forward, it will be challenge based learning, right? Marks will no longer be the evidence of capability. You will have to show. I mean, there might not be a formal exam where you have to sit for 3 hours and write something, right? Intelligent systems will advance so much that your progress can be tracked using AI, right? And that will be a real progress because you will be given challenge based, scenarios in which the systems will judge your performance, and then they will say that yes, you are capable or not. It will no longer be your CGPA which will be doing the talking, right? Final year project, that will go away because continuous industry problems will be sent to you. This is the future that I'm talking about, right? So you can start doing this. The colleges, they can start doing it, align with some industry. It is already taking place. Colleges are now signing MOUs with different industries, and industries are also aligning with institutes, so that there's a continuous exchange of ideas, exchange of information, exchange of knowledge, right? So that we also require new thinking. So if we are facing a problem in TCS, or if say a manufacturing company is facing some problem and they don't have enough, mind power or ideas to tackle that problem, we are now going to use the students in colleges and take their new ideas to solve the problem. So instead of, and because of this continuous industry association, there might not be any placement season going on where a company will be visiting the campus and recruiting people. We are now ready to move into career readiness journey. By the time you are graduating, the recruiters will already know. We are setting up system in place where we will know, like, okay, out of the 20 or 50 or 100 people from this college, which ones are best suited for our needs, right? So this is something that is going to come in the very near future. As you already know, right? So we are on the way to transform campuses into innovation networks. Like I said, all the big companies, big tech giants, they are teaming up with different colleges. There are labs coming up. COEs are being set up in different colleges, center of excellences. Colleges are setting up where they are, they are licensing and getting into agreements with big companies to share projects, startups. Your college already has an innovation lab, right? where you can bring your idea and incubate it into a product. Industry is helping you out with its own problems, right? You are living in a community, so you understand the context and the accommodation adoption of the problems. Even the government is helping, you know, educational institutions with infrastructure and giving them a purpose, right? That okay, you are setting up a COE or a action group in this sector. So these are some things that are going on, and campus plays a very important role in this. Going forward, the importance of campus will increase. Industries will come to campus, right? And industries will be more involved in what you are learning in the campus. Because currently there's a big disconnect between what you are learning and what the industry requires. So going forward, the government is also working on this. The companies are also working on this area, that there should be a better, communication between the academia and the industry, from where we are sourcing our future talent. So this is a five part agenda for responsible innovation as to how you will innovate. Like I said, any innovation has to now fulfill these criteria, the three convergence criteria that we have, that it should be sustainable, it should be workable, and it should benefit the human society in entirety, right? So we will begin with human and planetary outcome. Any new software or product or anything you are developing has to consider the human or the planetary outcome, environmental outcome, right? To connect, we need to build interdisciplinary team. So only a computer engineer who is doing coding is not required now. We need inputs from other disciplines also, right? Because any product that you make is going to touch lives of various people, right? So you need to do prototyping, test early in real context. So that is also very important. And then track value, its carbon footprint, its environmental footprints, and inclusion. How many types of people are you including in that product? How many diverse societies or diverse, communities are you going to impact in a positive way? And then you will judge the scale, create trust, partnerships, and capability. So you should start with one meaningful problem and then build a credible prototype. Create one measurable outcome, which is sustainable, right? So this is how you will carry forward in innovation. So I could not complete this basically, so three ideas to take home. So I'll just discuss this with you. So what do you think should be the three ideas that you will be taking home from this presentation of mine? Any questions you have? Anything you want me to elaborate on from the brief, presentation that we had? Do you have any questions?
Ishwan, have you any question? Do you want to ask any question to Sandeep sir regarding artificial intelligence, or you are very well using the chat GPT, so many AI applications are available here. About any applications, you want to ask any question, you can ask to Sandeep sir. All of you are using chat GPT? Yes, sir. Any other? M9, Nano Banana 2? Yes, sir. Have you facing any problem? Have you any suggestion? No, sir.
Okay.
They are most satisfied students, sir. But one thing, sir, just for student vote for thanks to our respected Sandeep, sir. It is my great pleasure and privilege to express my sincere gratitude to you for delivering such an insightful and inspiring keynote address on the very important topic now these days, that is artificial intelligence and the better use of the AI. Your valuable insight, expertise, and practical perspective have greatly enriched our understanding of the importance of AI and its role in building our society and the college campus and students' career also. On behalf of the KIPM College and organizing committee and all the participants, I extend our heartfelt thanks to you, Sandeep sir, for taking the time to be with us and sharing your knowledge and experience. Thank you, Sandeep sir, for your inspiring presence and for making this conference more meaningful and more memorable. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank
Have
you
a
very
good day,
much
sir.
for
Have
having
a
me
good
here.
day.
It was a very,
Yeah.
good session. I hope the students have learned something from it, right?
A lot of, sir. A lot
Yeah,
of.
thank you. Thank you very much.
स्टूडेंट्स अब फर्स्ट सेक्शन हम लोग का यहीं पे कंप्लीट होता है। लंच के बाद सेकंड सेक्शन स्टार्ट होगा अप्रॉक्स 2:15 PM, लगभग 2 सवा 2 बजे से सेकंड सेक्शन स्टार्ट होगा। तो एक 12:50 हो गया, आपके लंच का टाइम भी हो गया, तो अब आप लोग जाइए अपनी क्लास में और लंच करिए।